And whether it's the first day of kindergarten or stepping into a preschool environment, it's a big transition for the child and the parent. It's also an exciting time for littles learning and learners and their families.
It is, but goodness, I think we could all relate to that first day of school and having those jitters. So we've got Samantha Vanderberg Lynch, who is an experienced early childhood educator and certified Montessori teacher, in with us this morning with tips for families to try to make those first days of school a little bit easier for children, but also for the parents.
Oh, yeah.
It's tough on them too. So good morning, Samantha. We appreciate you being here.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so talk to us about this. How can we prepare the young children for the start of school?
Well, you know, I think that often as parents and as teachers, we think about all the things that we need to do, and sometimes we overlook the little things that we can do to help that transition be a little bit more easy on the children. One of the things that I often suggest is making sure that the clothes that you're sending your child in and the items that you're sending your child with, whether it's a new backpack or a new lunchbox, practice using those things with them. Make sure that you're not sending your 2-year-old with shoes with laces, because they're going to have a hard time navigating those kinds of things. If they have a new lunchbox, practice zipping and unzipping it with them. There's a lot of little things like that that we might overlook that just make that a little bit easier on them and a little less stressful. Of course, there's always a teacher nearby to help support them, but if they go in with confidence in being able to do those things a little more independently, it really makes a huge difference.
Now, what do you suggest as far as support at home? You know, once they go to school and then they're coming back home to you, I guess, you know, what do you need to be asking them, or what do you need to be helping with once they come out of the school doors?
I would say just continue to practice any of those things. If you see that they're having a hard time with any of their items that they're taking to school with them, continue to practice those things with them. And honestly, I think the more positive that we can be as parents, your children take those cues from you. And so if they seem like they're a little bit anxious still, or they've had a hard day, still try to be upbeat, listen to them, but try not to play into it too much, because if they get the message from you that you're anxious and that you're uncomfortable, they're probably going to pick up on that and in turn also feel that way. If you can just kind of listen to them and let them know that their teachers and their classmates are there to be with them and to support them and take care of them, they will in turn also understand that they're having a positive experience and that they're in a safe place.
Yeah, well, something that can be very stressful. I remember those morning trying to get everybody out the door. I sounded like a drill sergeant at my house. A lot of screaming. So how important is it to create a morning routine at home?
Oh, that is so important. I think one of the number one things that we can do to help support that is just making sure that you have ample time. A lot of times I hear parents say that they just ran out of time, and so they end up doing all of the things for the child that maybe they could do for themselves. And again, when a child is allowed to have that independence and has the opportunity to put on their own shoes and get their backpack and even get their own breakfast, it supports that confidence in them that makes them start out their day with kind of a positive experience and go into their day, you know, feeling good about themselves and feeling good about that. So I think just making sure that your child is getting enough sleep, getting to bed early, and then in turn getting up early enough so that you can kind of have a leisurely morning versus racing out the door. I always suggest to parents that they have a low hook by the door where the backpack is, one pair of shoes, not having too many things to choose from, laying out your clothes the night before, just trying to cut down on any of the you know, extra things that they would have to sift through that might make it a little more challenging. And then in turn we're turning into the drill sergeant because we're getting frustrated and they're getting frustrated. Right. So just trying to simplify things as much as possible, I think, is really important.
Yeah,
listen, well, and I think a lot of forgiveness too. You know, hey, maybe it's your first time you're experiencing this with them, and it's how many parents I think could say that you've probably gotten a phone call from the child's school saying, hey, they forgot this today, and then you got to rush to the school to take it to them. So all good advice, and I know a lot of students are probably getting in the school doors to meet their teachers and get kind of used to the classrooms, but can parents schedule a tour at Mountaineer Montessori School?
We did have a tour date last week,
Okay.
But there is still time. We still have space in some of our classes, so if you would like more information, you can visit the school website, which is mountaineermontessori.org, and you can also contact the school at 342-7870 to find out more information about which classes still have availability, and if there's not space in certain classes, there usually is an opening in the middle of the year to enroll your child mid-year. So
Yeah. Well, these are great tips. Thanks for sharing them with us.
Samantha, thanks so much. Best of luck on the new school year. We wish all the teachers and the students all the best and hope they have a wonderful year ahead.
thank you so much.
Well, coming up on Studio 3.